Alright, welcome to Grab Chess Club, grab.to.com, and now I'm starting a series on the World Open 2007, which I just played in. It was in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and it's a 9-round tournament, a huge open tournament. There were over 1,000 people there. I played in the under 1600 section, and I ended up finishing with 6.5 out of 9, which put me in a tie for 10th place, but I think my tie breaks must have been better because I played up every round. So, we're going to go over my first game now. We're going to go through all 9 games, even though some of them were losses, and hopefully we'll learn some stuff. Alright, let's get started. In this first game, I was black against a man named Naftalev Alger. Hopefully I didn't butcher his name there. As you can see, he was rated almost, 80. He was rated over 80 points more than me, but I wasn't looking too much at that. I thought I was going to take this whole tournament, so he played d4, which I was ready for, and I played d5. I always play d4, d5, so my repertoire is pretty limited, but I think it's pretty strong. He played c4, Queen's Gambit. I played e6, the Queen's Gambit declined. Knight c3, c6, the Semi-Slav. I pretty much play this consistently. And now he plays c takes d5, which I do believe is a mistake. The biggest problem with the Semi-Slav is black is that my light-squared bishop on c8 is going to become stuck. He's not going to have any place to go for quite some time. And now by him taking and relieving all the pressure in the center with c takes d5, when I take back with e takes d5, now my bishop has plenty of places to go. He's fixed all my opening problems. My d-pawn is protected. I don't have any problems in this opening now. I think he's already equalized it for me. So he plays knight f3, I play knight f6, standard stuff, bishop g5, bishop e7, he plays e3, and now I, of course, get my light squared bishop out. You notice all my pieces have nice squares to go to already. His will as well, but I mean, I've already taken this nice d3 square away from his bishop, and I'll trade it if I need to because it's my bad bishop. So he goes bishop e2, knight bd7, simple development. He goes castle, and now I play queen b6, attacking that pawn on b2. And here I expected something like knight a4. But my queen can really stay on the queen side, and it's really his knight who's going to be misplaced. So instead, he plays queen c1, which I don't know. Some alarms in my head were going off that couldn't have been the right move. But I don't think there's anything objectively horrible about it. It doesn't look like the best move in the world. He couldn't have done anything like rook b1 because my bishop, who's very nice, is covering that square. So I just castle, and now he plays knight e5, which I don't think can be right, especially since some of his stuff is sort of misplaced. He's already moved that knight twice, and he's not really doing anything specific. So notice if I can get this knight off f6 and push like f6, then I fork 2 pieces, and so when I have things like that already happening for me, the positions must be better. And in fact, Fritz says I'm about 0.3 pawns better now. I mean, that doesn't mean anything, but so now I play bishop d6. I'm just trying to. I'm actually threatening to win a pawn now if I take on e5, then I can take back with the bishop. Then he plays f4, a nice move. Now he's trying to get a lot of control over the e5 square. And that's another thing about this game I wanted to point out is the control that we're going to be fighting for. He's going to fight for control of this e5 square, and meanwhile I'm fighting for control of the e4 square. And you'll notice that I get very, very good control of the e4 square, which is going to actually help me win this game. So now I just play rook ae8, and here I expected him to play g4. I thought it would have been a nice move, and I can't really do like bishop e4 because after a sequence like bishop takes, knight takes, g5, I don't know, things don't look too great for me. He's going to get control of the e4 square, and the e5 square is pretty much under control. He doesn't have a piece there, but I mean he's got pretty nice control, and in fact Fritz likes him better in this position. So I think I must have been right about that evaluation. So I was surprised he didn't play g4. So instead of g4, he plays king h1. I think he was hoping more for an e4 push, but he couldn't do an e4 push right away because then I can just take on d4, and then it would have been with check. So it wouldn't have been very nice for him. So he plays king h1, and now I go queen c7. Really, I'm just trying to contest his control of the e5 square. I already have pretty good control of e4. He can't push e4 now because he's just going to drop a pawn. So we'll see what happens. He goes queen d2, and now I play bishop b4. And it actually turns out to be somewhat of a mistake because after he takes knight on d7, I take back with my knight, and he has a tactical opportunity here, which I don't think he takes advantage of. What he can do, I'll give you a chance to, if you want to pause it, you can try to figure it out for yourself. If you were white, what do you think you'd do here? Do you see anything? See, I thought right here he was going to pick up a pawn. I looked at it and I thought knight takes d5 would just flat out win a pawn. Because notice now his queen is attacking my bishop, his knight's attacking my queen, so it's not like I can just trade off the queens and all the pressure's gone. No, so let's say if I took back, take on b4, and I thought he was just going to be a pawn up and I had no compensation, I was quite worried. But it turns out he's actually hanging the e3 pawn. And then, you know, I think the position's alright for me because, yeah, I do have a d pawn that's isolated, but so is his. And it's not like his, you know, pawn structure and everything's the best in the world. So I think I would have been alright here because I've at least, you know, maintained control of the e4 square. So it would have been interesting if it went that way. But he decided not to go for that line. I'm not sure if he didn't see it or exactly what happened, but instead he plays rook a1. Not a bad idea. Just trying to get his rook on the same file as my queen. So I mean, there's more threats. And now I just want to get rid of that knight. I don't want to have to worry about any, you know, taking on d5. So I just get rid of the knight, which might not have been the best move objectively, but now I can have control of my e4 square, which I've been begging for. So now he tries to contest that control with bishop d3. Now I play f5, making sure that that square is going to be mine for a long time. So now he takes, and I could take back with the pawn, and then my pawn structure is nice and such, but then he's going to be able to maybe push like f5 and maybe get some play on the king side, which he ends up getting anyway. But I wanted to have a piece on e4 because I can replace that piece with another piece, and plus now my rook is attacking his weak pawn on e3, so now he's got to babysit it for a while. He plays rook f3. He's trying to get something going on the king side now. I move my knight just in case he might get anything going. I can always play like knight g6, or, you know, there's plenty of moves I have here. That knight is going to save my life. So he plays rook g3. Now he's threatening sort of like, you know, maybe bishop to h6 or bishop to f6, and I can't take back because it'll be pinned, but I don't think there's anything really special about it. So now I double up on the e-file. Now he plays queen f2. He's trying to move all his pieces over there. And I was actually quite worried during the game about this, because he's getting all his pieces over my king side. I wasn't sure if I had enough to stop him. But it turns out I'm winning here by quite a bit. It must be because of my control over that square. And my pieces are nicely coordinated. Notice that even my queen babysits this pawn. So, I mean, things are fine. Which actually, it did babysit the pawn until I played queen b6. Trying to, I don't know exactly why I did that. It's probably not the best move in the board. So, play queen b6, now he plays h4, now he's getting some stuff rolling. Oh, I know why I played that, hold on. I played queen b6 to try to hopefully put him in some kind of trap. So if he played like a3 here, then I was planning on taking on d4, but that doesn't even work. I mean, it falls right into it, but in this position here, the queen can drop back, and then I've sacrificed my queen already, so he would have actually been much better. But if you take mate. So, I was kind of worried about, well, not worried, I was kind of hoping for something like that. But instead he plays h4, gives his king some escape squares, and so that's not there anymore. Now I play knight e6, attacking his bishop, and also now that knight's going to protect my g7 square. So now he plays bishop f6, and I play king f7. And then now we're going to head and stop and continue on the next part, because this next move is kind of tricky, and I was wondering about the evaluation of it. So join us for part 2 of this lecture. Thank you.